Good evening, everybody. I hope you're well. We're live for tonight's session. 5 ways. I'm out of practice. I've had a week off. 5 ways to use social media to get customers. So hopefully you're watching me. You can see me. Please do say hello in the chat so I know that you're alive and well and I'm not putting you to sleep. We'll start in maybe a minute's time. And we're going to look at all things social media and some really, really simple things you can do to get customers from social media. As I said, tonight's session is run by Oxlep. Oxlep are the local enterprise partnership for Oxfordshire. They're running loads of free support for businesses. You can go to their website and get access to things. They're running a peer networks program, which will help you grow and scale your business into 2021. So go to Oxlep's website and find that out. Do let me know where you are contacting or joining us from tonight, because we'll share in the chat some bits and pieces that you can also do. And we will start in maybe 1 minute. We'll give everybody a minute to join, and then we'll dive in and really start to share some really practical strategies that you can use to grow your business. I'm just muting my phone because I'm going to show you social media stuff and I don't want my phone pinging and going nuts whilst I'm doing it. So Helen, welcome. Let us know where you are in the chat so I can see some wonderful people. I know I'm not talking to myself. One of the things about working digitally is we've all had to kind of adjust to talking to a camera, and that's a huge benefit, particularly with social media. North Oxford Films, welcome. So I'm going to show you some really simple things. I'm Dean Seddon. I work for Maverick, but we deliver these trainings for Oxlep. Do come find me on LinkedIn and Facebook. I will connect with you or accept your connection requests. But I want to share with you, I'm actually going to share 6 things with you tonight to help you generate sales from social media. I'm going to focus on Facebook and I'm going to focus on LinkedIn. The reason I'm focusing on those two is because they're where you can get the quickest results. Hi Dave, hi Julia, I think it is. So these are the 2 channels where you can get the quickest results. Instagram and Twitter and the others, TikTok, they're a little bit more a bit more hard work, and maybe we'll do a session on Instagram and Twitter at another point. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do or to share with you is actually not an action, it's more of a principle that you need to learn. So the first principle I want you to learn, that's why I've got 6, is that if you want to sell things, particularly B2B, but B2C as well, you need to use personal profiles. Forget company pages on LinkedIn and Facebook. I don't mean get rid of them, but I mean, if you're hoping that one day some company or some business owner is going to look at your company page and make an inquiry, that will happen someday. But what I'm going to show you with profiles can happen today. You can go on and do these stuff today. So profiles perform better than pages. Profiles perform better than pages. So just remember that. Don't get rid of them. Don't delete them. Excuse me. Because they're very good. They're very good to help validate that you are a reputable business. So they're very helpful to validate you're a reputable business. So that's principle number 1 I want to share with you. Principle number 2. And then we'll go to the tactics and everything. And feel free, if you want to send me a connection request on LinkedIn or Facebook, you can do. You'll see my Facebook in a minute as I show you some of the demos. Principle number 2. People don't buy things. They buy to get out of pain and to a destination. So if one of your prospects has to be in a pain or frustrated position to buy what you've got to offer. So let's say you're selling IT services and they've got an IT company already. You have to convince that IT company, that their IT, they can get something better, or they've got a problem with what they've got going on for them to even consider moving to you. If you don't sell and understand the pain points of your customer, you'll end up selling on price. No pain, sell on price. If you know the pains, you can sell in a price sensitive way. So pain really does matter in terms of selling on social media. You need to understand what we call a prospect's MVPP. MVPP. Their most valuable pain point. In other words, if you can solve that point, they buy. If they believe you can solve that point, they will buy. Now, where people go wrong, and I will show you the demos and how this works in practice in a minute. Let me just shut this down so that where people go wrong is they either think, oh, I'm selling SEO services, so let's tell everybody I sell SEO services. People buy SEO because they want traffic. People want traffic because they want sales or inquiries. So if you're selling SEO, you're actually selling sales. You're actually selling inquiries. So the pain a customer might have is they want more inquiries from their website. Why do people want to rank higher in the search? Because they want to be found by more potential customers, and so they may get more potential inquiries. That's why it is. So pain is really important. Pain holds people's attention. Pain keeps people focused on talking to you. Pain is what gets people in conversation with you. Whichever way you spin it, the goal of social media is not to sell, unless you're e-commerce, the goal is not to sell in messages. The goal is not to sell on a post. The goal is to create a conversation where you can communicate your value, you can talk to them, send them a quote, send them an invoice, however you want to do it. But the goal is to get people into a conversation with you about buying, whether that's a literal conversation, whether that's something you do over email, but that's the goal. And where people go wrong is they try and sell their product first. They got to convince people to have a conversation. So you'll see it on LinkedIn very often. I can do all of this stuff for you. How wonderful is my gadget, my service, whatever. Would you like a call? No, you haven't convinced people of the value of a call. You haven't convinced people that you can make a difference. And that comes before the product. Pain creates conversations. Pain creates attention. So you need to understand your MVPP. So I'll give you two principles there. The first one is profiles, not pages. Second principle is pain and MVPP. Now we're going to look at some simple things you can do, and I'll go to Facebook first. And you may be looking at me going, Dean, I'm B2B. Why would I want to use Facebook? Facebook, I've got today around 100 new potential customers from my Facebook profile by doing one simple thing. And you're going, yeah, but I won't find my customer on Facebook. And maybe there's 24 of you watching right now. Why don't you put in the chat what your business does? I don't mean like a big sales pitch, and I will show you in real time. So write in the comments, IT consultancy, SEO, marketing agency, copywriting, mechanical engineers, anything like that. Write them in the chat and I'll pick some and I'll show you how this works in real time. So here I am on my Facebook, and I'm going to show you how I've used Facebook for business. Now, this annoys my family, so you may want to go and get a separate work Facebook, but I've optimized my Facebook profile for sales. I've optimized it as this is Dean, and as you can see, I've got a header that's branded, I've got a featured image that's branded, and I've got content here. And as you can see, look at this one here, right? Who would like a 90-day action plan for accelerating sales in 2021? I'm sending it off to be proofread. I think I've spelled that right. But happy to give you the draft. Yes, 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 yes. You see my point? So how have I done that? How have I got people asking me for...
have this.
I need a little drink, sorry. How have I got people asking me for information? First things first, I'm only trying to sell one thing on Facebook. I'm only trying to sell one thing. How they can accelerate their sales on... how you can accelerate your sales in the next 90 days. That's what I'm selling. And so I've got a series of products and offers that I'm putting out to encourage people to come into that process. We call this the one strategy. If you look in some of the other sessions on YouTube that we've done for Oxlab, I teach and explain how this works, but it means you can't effectively sell and get attention. You can sell, but whether you can get attention if you're trying to do two things at once. So you go, right, Facebook, Dean's Facebook is all about this program. And actually all my social channels right now are about this program because we're launching it in January. So I'm there sharing all about this, right? But how did I get the attention in the first place? Because I haven't got a lot of Facebook friends, about 600 or so. So how have I done it? So let me show you. I'll have to go into my notifications, which are a nightmare to manage.
You've got all...
Event supplier, Sophie, I'm going to use you in a second, Sophie, but let me just go and show you how I've done this. So I have to go back because my Facebook's incredibly busy. Where is it? Bear with me while I... So, earlier today, I joined this Facebook group. It's a private Facebook group. And I'm just showing this as an example. And people ask questions in Facebook groups. Yeah. So you can go into a Facebook group and there's a LinkedIn growth hacking group. There's Sophie, I'll show you a brilliant group for you in a minute. And coaches, there's brilliant groups for coaches. Again, there's tons of them. So I've joined this group and I've been asking questions. People have been asking questions and I've chosen to answer the questions. But the way I've answered the question, I have a list happy to share with you, just not sure on the policy because most groups you're not allowed to advertise. So here's what I do. I say that I've got a list of things on hashtags for LinkedIn, which I have got. Just not sure on the policy here. In other words, I can't share it. So, just bear with me. So as you can see, I have all these people asking me for that list. All of those people. Now, not everyone will be a customer, but I'm helping everybody to find the people who will buy. And all I do is offer to send it in a message and send them a friend request. That's it. And then those people start to see my content. And I'll come to the content bit in a minute. So, little trick number one. Answer questions in groups and give value to people, but have some things where you offer to send them the answer in a message, connect with, and then friend request them and send the information. Then they start to see your content. You can do this on Facebook very, very easily, and it pulls people in, and I've shared the value with them, and I will send them opt-in links and all sorts in the future. But the main thing is I want them to see my content so they warm up to me, they get to know me and see the value I've got to offer, because I'm going to share about their pains. Very, very simple strategy. So let's have a look at some groups. Let's look for Sophie. So Sophie
Robinson.
Sophie Robinson is an event supplier. So Sophie, go join this group, the Delegate Wranglers. It's got the largest group of event professionals and event managers and event bookers in the UK. That you could join this group and just go interact with everybody, become famous in that group, give value and support people wherever you can. Share your opinions on what will help, but remember that strategy I just showed you where you answer questions, and some of the questions you just give people, you offer to send the person a message with it, and everybody else will ask for the same answer. Really, really simple. So this could be a thing of a checklist or something like that. The delegate wranglers. There's also a load of other event professionals groups, but the delegate wranglers is a UK one. Join them. If your customer is an event professional looking for inspiration, it's a brilliant way to do it. Paola, I would be looking for business owners. So wherever you are or wherever you might be, you can find business owners, 44,000 members. UK Small Business Owner Networking. Remember, you cannot generally promote in Facebook groups. So you can't share links of who you are and what you do. You have to answer questions. Now, the second part of that, you can't do this too generically, but the second part of it is you can actually ask questions. Questions about pain points that your potential customers might have, and ask them, how did they deal with this? Have they ever come across this, and how did they fix it? And then people will share their opinions, and some of those people will be your customers. Thank them for their comment, interact with them, and then send them a friend request. Not to sales pitch them, again, to get them to your content. So that's using Facebook groups to grow a Facebook account filled with customers. Paola, I know you're not a business coach, but the people most likely to buy what you've got to offer are business owners, people who are running businesses. Yeah, because they have a potential for more disposable income. They're more willing to learn new things. They're more willing to try new things. So you could provide your spiritual coaching to business people, for an example, business professionals, small business owners, freelancers. Think about it like that. Very, very easy way to do it. And businesses tend to be quite big overthinkers. So that could really help you as well, because if they're overthinking, is it doubt that's in them? All of those things that you can look at there. So think about it in that way. Even down to, even if there's businesses, you could say, right, well, there's business owners that are struggling to move forward because maybe they're in the wrong business and they need to discover what they really want to do with their life, what they really want to achieve. So that's what I'm suggesting there. Not necessarily you're a business coach, but you are providing your coaching to business people who have a higher disposable income.
You've got Lauren Gribbons, tools and PPE supplier.
Tools and PPE suppliers. So again, Lauren, some of the event, now that events can happen in the UK, some of the event professionals would be useful. Small business owners groups. There are some bigger business groups as well, not as many. So I'd just be thinking about, who are my customers? What's their pain? How does my product solve their pain? Now, everybody needs some degree of PPE, but can you find a company or a type of company where you can help them with PPE that are easy to get access with Facebook? You need to kind of do a thing. But that's one example.
Paul Foster. It's just sent the message.
Paul Foster, procurement outsourcing. So Paul, there are some purchasing managers groups, but they may not be relevant to you because you may be wanting to go one higher. But there is a purchasing managers group with 11,000 members. So there's an easy group, supply chain management professionals, supply chain management. There's a lot of groups like that, but they may not necessarily be what you want. When we come to LinkedIn, so I'm flicking to LinkedIn because Paul's examples there. Paul, you would map out what's the type of company that I'm looking for that I can help. What's the circumstances they're in with their purchasing? So it could be a smaller business. I don't mean like tiny or micro. I mean, but they don't have a dedicated purchasing department. And as a result, they're maybe under pressure. And if they're under pressure, they need to cut their costs. So, Paul, I'm going to show you something quickly, but then we'll come back to content because this is a real good LinkedIn one. So, one of the downsides with LinkedIn is if you have the free account, you can't search people accurately. Whereas if I have Sales Navigator, which is a premium feature, but it's not very expensive. So if I look at in here, I can search here for accounts. So I could be looking for companies. How do I find companies that may be contracting on LinkedIn? Well, what I can do is I can look for companies that have seen at least 1% contraction in a headcount. Just 1%. Sorry if, Paul, I want to show you this example because it will be helpful. So, and then I could go, well, okay, how many people are in the company? So at least maybe 11 to 50 upwards. So there's 810,000 companies. And Paul, I'm assuming you're in the UK. So there we go, UK. So there's 47,000 companies that meet that criteria. So you might want to filter it down a bit more. You might go, actually, I'm going to work with only manufacturing companies or food manufacturing, food production companies, Paul. I'm just making this up. So there we go. We've got 205 companies that are cutting headcount. So you could look and go, actually, brilliant. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go to Bert Snacks. Actually, they're local to us. So Bert Snacks, local, 14 decision makers. And there they are. So here's what I'd be doing, Paul. And this is my next tip for you. Once you find your prospects, whether you do it on free or Facebook or whatever you do, deliberately, purposefully continue. Once you find, excuse me, once you find them, like and comment on their stuff regularly. Not just liking and then not commenting, but liking and commenting with something meaningful about what they're posting. So if they're posting about, I don't know, beige paint, talk about beige paint. Build up that relationship so that one, they will accept your connection request if you send one, and two, so that they can now see your content. So interact with them to get them to connect. Groups, ask questions, answer questions, give value to get to be friends, so that tip 3, they start to see your content. Now I want to show you something I'm going to share with you very quick, and because Oxlep has funded this program today, I'm going to share with you something that we actually sell as a training, but because they've paid, you get it free. So when you're doing a post, there's 4 vital components of what you need to have in any social media post. 4 vital elements that you need to make a post work. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere. Twitter not so much as the others, but definitely LinkedIn and Facebook. And it is this: structure, stopping power, staying power, engagement. Now you need those 4 things, and they're slightly different, marginally different on the different channels, but generally these are those. So number 1, structure. The structure is all about, have you made this easy to read, and is it laid out right? So first things first, on LinkedIn, people only see the first 2 lines. Yeah. So make sure you want to remember this the next time you post, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And then you see all of the text is broken down into really simple, easy to read short sentences. So it's easy to read on a mobile phone. So make it easy to read on a mobile phone. The first two lines are the first element of getting people to read your content. So now we come to point number 2, stopping power. Now on Facebook it's more than the first two lines, but on LinkedIn it's the first two lines. Those first two lines, whatever text is above the see more or read more, has to create curiosity. That's the first thing it has to do, create curiosity. If it does not do that, people will scroll on by, and your battle to get the attention of your audience is lost. So the stopping power is the image. Does the image capture people's attention? Is it visual? Is it got lots of contrasting colours? Does it grab attention? If you don't get the attention to stop, they won't stay. And that's the first bit, stopping power. So does the first preview lines, the top lines that you see, does it create curiosity to read more, or have you given the game away in the top half? You don't want to give the game away because people don't need to read any more. So that's the first one, stopping power. It's about the image and what they see before they have to see more. Staying power. Now this again is slightly different between Facebook and LinkedIn, but you need to get people to stay, at least on LinkedIn, for longer than 3 seconds. So this post on LinkedIn, and you go find it on my documents on LinkedIn, this post I think got 40,000 views by the time it was finished, and it's crawling up marginally every day. 2 reasons. Number 1, lots of curiosity in the top, lots of curiosity in the image, but then the image that I used is actually a swipe PDF file, which encourages people to stay longer than 3 seconds. It's actually quite a funny post too, with a good business message, so it's obviously done well. And I've got longer copy that encourages people to read. If you keep people on your content for longer than 3 seconds on LinkedIn, it's longer on a bit longer on Facebook. That post will just perform better, hands down perform better, just by holding people's attention for longer. Now, if you want to sell, you need to really create a powerful message, which is where the pain points come in. But the 3 second views more make a difference to the performance and the reach, how many people see that post. Next one, engagement. Now, you might think, well, actually, I'm not likes and comments don't matter to me. It's about the right people seeing it. Well, that's a wrong argument. It's a quality versus quantity argument, and what you want is quality and quantity. So you need to write posts that encourage people to like and comment, because social media platforms judge a post's success by dwell time, how long people stay on the post, and likes and comments, and how many people like and comment. More likes and comments and more dwell time, more people see it. Very, very simple principle. So just to recap this one: structure, stopping power, staying power, engagement. So as Paul said, as we shared with Paul, find people. Let me just recap where we're up to. So principle number 1, profiles, not pages. Principle number 2, pain sells better than, I was going to say pleasure, but it sounds inappropriate. It sounds a bit weird. Number 3, Facebook groups, go and ask questions, provide answers in messages, and friend request them so they can see your content. Option number 3, go search them out on LinkedIn and engage with them deliberately to build a relationship so that they'll accept your connection request and then they can see your content. Number 4, no, that's number 4, right? Content. Produce content with structure, stopping power, staying power, and engagement. Number 5. I'm going to share with you now. And it's kind of built off all 3. And then I'll do a Q&A session in a moment as well. Just let me get to my browser. So I'm going to share with you a lead magnet now and why they work and how to do them in a way so that they do work. So you can go look at this if you want to come and find my profile. You can find it. So this is a lead magnet I prepared earlier. North Oxford's film. I'll come back to your question in a minute if that's all right. So I've produced here a lead magnet. Now, you may have heard of lead magnets, you may not. And don't worry if you haven't, but lead magnets is essentially a piece of value that matters to your prospect that you can share, that they either give their email address to download or they provide some kind of, opt-in so that you know who they are. Now, what happens with a lot of lead magnets is people get confused about what they should be doing. And so what they do is they write lead magnets that have no intent. No intent. Now, why is that a problem? If you write the wrong lead magnet, you could get lots of people signing up and none of them are buyers. None of them have any interest or any need for your service because you've chosen the wrong lead magnet. So this is where you want quality and quantity together, because you don't want to take the time to build a lead magnet and then get loads of the wrong people. Now here's a cheat. Here's a little cheat, and this, you have to be brave for this. Most people who are using lead magnets to get customers, first of all, they use intent, and I'll explain intent in a minute. But the second thing they do is they put the lead magnet out without ever building it. So whilst a lot of people are spending weeks and weeks and weeks writing lead magnets, most people put the lead magnet out there and then write it as soon as they know it's performed. Now, you might think that's crazy. You might think that's madness. But I think it's crazy and mad to write something that it might not work. So you write it afterwards. Obviously, you need to know what you're going to do. You can't just, let's put this up and then figure out what to write. You have to have an idea, but then you put it down on paper or put it down into a PDF after the event, once you know you've got signups. So I put this lead magnet out. So how do you use a lead magnet so you know it performs? And as you've seen on Facebook, I got loads, over 50 odd people asking for that one. And on the one on my profile, which I showed you earlier, which is exactly the same lead magnet here. Yeah. Where is it? Let me find it. This one, 27 requests for it. So 27 there. And on LinkedIn, I've actually put the landing page so people can go get it. And 77 people have liked that one. So what's the power in a good lead magnet? It all comes back to the pain that people are in. So if I've identified that getting sales in 2021 might be a nervous thing that people are thinking about, I've just produced a lead magnet, which is a 90-day action plan to help you get sales, which is coming out on the 18th of December. And you can pre-register your interest there. So what is a lead magnet? It's just a little page. Yeah, you can make them in MailChimp. It's dead simple. A little book. You can go to a website called placeit.com, upload an image, and it'll do these fancy 3D visuals for you. A call to action. And 3 bullet points. Don't go over the top sharing loads of waffle on these pages. Simple works. 3 bullet points, button, done. Don't go complicated. The more information you give, the more people will consider. Now, why Why do you do it around the pain point? Because if somebody's feeling a pain and you put something out there that helps people understand or know or learn about that or see how they can reach an outcome that's not leave that pain behind, they're potential buyers. So let me give you an example. If I put 5 social selling tips on this lead magnet here, so it's called 5 social selling tips, it doesn't tell me that that customer is feeling a sales pain. It doesn't tell me that the customer isn't in action. So I wrote an article which I used as a lead magnet, and it's called "The Reason Why Coaches Struggle to Get Clients." Guess who the #1 readers of that little lead magnet were? Coaches that were struggling to get clients. So think about the pain that people are in, yeah, and think about it like a journey. You've got a current place where the customer is, and they want to get somewhere, yeah. So you've got a customer, a coach who's struggling to get clients, and over here you've got the coach is ideal scenario where they're getting clients. So point A, point B. That's what they're focused on. I want clients. What's your customer want? What does your customer want? I want clients in this scenario. So they want clients, point A, point B. Point A, not happy with the clients they've got, or they're not happy with the level of clients they've got. Point B, I've got plenty of clients, I'm really happy. I'm doing it simply here. The gap between those points is what your product or service can help the customer with. So when you're talking to a customer, they're thinking about where I am now and where I want to be. And your job is just to show them how your product or service can close that gap, can take them from point A to point B. So when you're writing lead magnets, when you're writing content, it's really important you remember, where is the client now? What is the problem they're living with? What's the frustrations? And where would they like to be? And you write your posts and your lead magnets around that, which captures the people who have a degree of intent to buy what you have to offer. And that's how you harness the power of pain in lead magnets so you get people to sign up. And as you can see, granted, yes, I'm a bit further down the road with you on social media, but literally with the Facebook group strategy, you can start this tomorrow. Yeah, as long as you know what your pain point is, and perhaps if you're struggling to understand your pain point, if you drop us a line or find me on LinkedIn or find me on Facebook and say, can you send me your pain point worksheet? I'll send you the link to go get it. It's just a series of questions. They're quite complicated questions, but it asks you the questions so you can understand your customer's pain points better, which helps you write social posts, which helps you write lead magnets, which helps you ask questions in groups. It helps you put all of this stuff together. Remember, people do not buy gadgets. They don't buy services unless they have a need to get somewhere, an outcome, a result, a place that they want to achieve, something they want to achieve. So they buy from you to get somewhere, to achieve something. You know, I think it was Sophie earlier. She does she helps event professionals. They want to create memorable events. Event managers might want to do things differently. They want to give new ideas to their clients. That's what you're helping them with. You're a new idea. So that's the simple one. So principle number 1, profiles, not pages. Principle number 2, pain. And pain sells better than pleasure, or pain will sell better than telling people about your product. Groups, answering questions in groups, and offering to message it to people, and friend requesting everybody else who asks for the same information. Asking questions in groups and doing the same thing. Hunting people down on LinkedIn, engaging with them, building relationships, interacting with them to connect so they can see your content. Producing content that's filled with pain and shows people how you can help people get somewhere. You'll never have to cold pitch if you do this. I'll tell you one thing about the speed that this can be implemented in a second. And then finally, using intent in lead magnets and getting them on your profiles and pages make a huge difference.
Oh, Sophie. Just made it.
Wow, Sophie, that's certainly a provocative title, company name. So let me just share with you one more thing that I want you to kind of focus on about the speed of this. So some of you may be watching this and going, I can't believe we can get business on Facebook. Yes, you can. You can get the biggest challenge is, do you do it with your existing Facebook profile or make a new one? And if you make a new one, make sure it's optimized so it doesn't look like you were born yesterday and it doesn't look like you're a fake person. Make sure it's optimized. So that thing aside, how quickly can you be doing this? The Facebook group strategy you can go implement tomorrow. You could do it tonight if you want, or you could, go to sleep and be fresh at it tomorrow. Remember, it's about. I'm going to say something else after this. So speed, you can do that tomorrow. You can do the LinkedIn one tomorrow. Yeah. Maximum, do it with 150 people and make sure you have a spreadsheet ready to remember all the people that you're working on, your 150 people who are prospects. You can implement all of these tomorrow. But I would encourage you, the biggest thing you've got to do, biggest challenge you have, is you've got to build a routine, because this will pay off in the short term, but the long-term win is actually in getting these people to see your content. I have now a full-time person who sits dealing with all the stuff that comes in off my social media. So my LinkedIn, my Facebook, my emails, because so much stuff comes in. Now, I'm not saying that to brag. What I'm trying to say is, if you work at this, the reason most people don't get what I get is because they don't do it consistently. So yes, you can do this tomorrow. And it might work, it might not work. You might have to tweak it. You might have to play around with it. You might have to learn a few lessons. But please be consistent and don't worry. Just be prolific. You don't have to be perfect. Prolific, not perfect. In other words, it's better to do more and make mistakes than do nothing and have it perfect. So just go do it. Just go try it. Do we have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? I'm more than happy to look at things and you can ask me things and I'll share it. Actually now, Sophie, I think we connected on LinkedIn last week, because I think I remember your profile. I've got a feeling I recognise you from somewhere, but I can't think where, Sophie, because I remember the name. So, yes, we did. Yeah. So any questions? Anybody would like me to run through some examples?
Digital construction has got a question.
Digital construction. I can't see them here. Oh, there we are. Where do construction SMEs live in your experience? 50 to 250 employees. So that's a real good question. I think you can get the lower end on Facebook. You can get the lower end of that company on Facebook, and you can get the higher end on LinkedIn. When you say digital construction skills media, I need to understand what that is. So let me see if I can find your... Is that you? Is that you? Just let me know if that's you. So, I can't pronounce your name. Paola? Paola.
Ciao, Paola.
Paola, so here's where it starts, and this is where you're not going to like me. That's you, right? So I'll do this in a moment. So at the beginning, it will take you longer. Yeah, I tell people it will take them 90 days to get a new habit, and this is a habit you've got to form consistent. So I would do it every single day. If you're posting on LinkedIn and you want to accelerate it, just PM me on LinkedIn and say, you talked about accelerating. I've got something free I'll show you how to do. But if you're trying to I've lost let me just let's say I'm trying to get to these people. I'll come back to that other point in a minute. I can get to the smaller end of this scale of on Facebook. So I'd go into the group here. Oh, more groups. Construction UK. 1,400. That one's probably not relevant. It might be, but this one's definitely relevant, and this one's definitely relevant to you. So there's 80,000 members in that one, 1,400 members in that one, and there's probably a load more groups as well. Jobs in construction, 6,200 jobs. CSCS. There's a ton of different groups here. So I would get the smaller end of people in here. Remember, it's not necessarily what the group's about, it's where the people are. And you adapt and tweak to that role. So in digital construction skills, you could ask questions about, do certain skills matter? Yeah. How would employers, have you ever had a job, lost a job because of a certain skill set or what have you? So you'd ask questions, but you'd also be answering questions to help people and build a relationship, because all of these people will at some point will be working for a particular company. They'll be involved in a particular company. So there's the small end. And then the large end, I'd be doing sales nav to find them all. So I'd go search by leads, and I'm assuming you want something to do with training or HR. So I could put the job titles in HR. I'm sure there's a human resources somewhere. And there's probably particular construction related roles for qualifications as well, you know, the CIS and all that kind of stuff. And then I could go in construction, and then I could do UK. So there's 866 people, it's found, in the UK that have a job title of human resources. And there they are. So yeah, I can find them all pretty quick. And the key to getting attention from these people is to actually engage and talk about things that matter to them. So you can see 167 of them have definitely been active in the last 30 days. This doesn't mean these aren't inactive. It just means LinkedIn's picked up on these people. So some of these might have shared things. They might have engaged with other stuff. They might have liked stuff. So it doesn't mean they're dead. It just means those people are the most active. So Dave Reeves, yeah. Prolific, not perfect. No, Dave. I'm not saying prolific in the sense of posting every 5 minutes. Maybe once or twice a day on Facebook, on your profile, maybe once a day on your LinkedIn profile. But it's not about what you're up to. It's about the engagement you get. If nobody's engaging with you, if nobody's spending any time on your posts, your posts won't perform. And so one of the things we show people is, if you're going to get into this, we can give you a jump start in it. We have a free support group. It's only for LinkedIn, really. It's a free support group that you can join on WhatsApp. And every time you post, you have to post at specific times in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning for LinkedIn. And if you put a link to your post in that WhatsApp group, other people will come and like and comment on yours if you would return the favor. Now, it's not for vanity. It's to help give your post a kickstart with the algorithm. Go, oh, this post's quite interesting, to help more of your connections see it. So you need to build your connections with people who will value you talking about the pain points. Obviously, the WhatsApp group, as we call it, the pod, as we call it, won't help you get customers. It'll just help you get visibility with your customers.
Paola, she's got a question.
Paola, I didn't say don't make a business page, but a business page is not the kind of thing that's going to help you get customers. Your profile will. So use your profile. Yes, we all need profile company pages. We need all of those things, Facebook pages. But generally these days, if they're primarily used because you're going to do ads, you're going to do advertising, so you need a page to advertise, paid ads, or you need it as social proof that you are a reputable business, that you exist, you've got a phone number, a landline, you're not a scammer. So that's the primary reason to have a page. It's for social proof, and if you want to do advertising, and it's good to have it so that people can see that you exist. And some people will find it, and some people will find it interesting, but it actually takes a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of work to make a page work and make it work consistently. It's a nightmare. And the reason it's a nightmare is because Facebook, LinkedIn make money from you spending advertising money to get your page in front of people, whether that be posts, whether that be links, whatever it is. So they're not going to make it easy for a page to perform because they'll undermine their own revenue. Yeah. But a profile, they need them to perform. And this is the difference. If there's nobody on LinkedIn or Facebook, there's nobody to advertise to. So Facebook wants to keep people on Facebook. LinkedIn wants to keep people on LinkedIn. So how do they do that? By encouraging them to interact with each other. So they share posts and they share conversations to get people to interact so that they stay there longer to see the ads. And if you understand that business model, you'll get, I need to stop spending so much time on my page and more time on my profile. And use my profile like I am the company. So Dean said an Inc. representing Maverick. Vasco, who's just off camera here, by the way, so it just looks like I'm talking to myself. Vasco, who's off camera, and he is Maverick, Vasco Botello, representing Maverick Inc. Yeah, so Eva, I would recommend the easiest way. LinkedIn groups are a bit rubbish. So if you post in the group, hardly anybody will see it, and very few people are active in groups. So Eva, I'm also going to say something to you about Henley Scan, because I know who you are and we're connected on Facebook. But I don't know whether you're in these groups, Eva. So there's a ton of photographers, photography groups, UK Amateur Photography Group, London Freelance Photographers and Videographers, 5,500 members, Landscape Photography. There's tons and tons of groups, second shooter groups, estate agent photographers. So Eva, whilst you can find photographers straight away, if I could spell Eva, I don't recommend a group at all to you on LinkedIn, to be honest with you. I recommend you go interacting with all these photographers that are on LinkedIn already in the UK, say. And Eva, you could target around Oxford area. So that would be really easy. So I'd go after all of these, or I'd go Greater Oxford area. And there's 1,600 photographers parked around Oxfordshire. Go engage with them, Eva. Go engage with them. And then I would go and look in these groups and support people in these groups. That's exactly what I'd be doing. I'd be doing those, going engaging with all these people and going interacting in these groups. North Oxford Films. Oh, so let me just give you some context to that question. We have a person who works on our advertising here. We have Facebook ads. Yeah. None of you are here through Facebook ads. None of you. None of the people on my lead magnets are here. Well, a small proportion. The majority of people on my email list are prospects that have come through organic lead magnets. So Facebook has a place and we use it. We use YouTube ads. We use Google ads. We do all of the things. But here's the problem. You get one bite of the cherry with an ad, generally, People see it and decide and leave. With some of these, you've got multiple bites of the cherry and you know who they are. With Facebook ads, if somebody clicks your link and doesn't download something, you don't know. So I can get in front of on LinkedIn, for an example. I'm in front of on LinkedIn somewhere around, with content, around 30 to 40,000 people a week are seeing me every single week. The law of averages says if you're really good at marketing, if you're really good at ads, you might get a 3% conversion. 3%. So you have to put your ad in front of, I have to work this out, 3%, at least 3,000 of the right people to get a conversion. If you've got the ad perfect, and that's a top performing ad. But organically, I can put my content and in front of, in a group, it doesn't need to be many, but on LinkedIn, I can put my content in front of 30 to 40,000 people a week organically. Just I use the pod to get me going in the morning. I pick me up, as you would say. Every week, and I have to get a 3% conversion of 30,000. Does anybody know what that is? Any accountants on there? 30,000. So 1% of 30,000 is 300, 900. If I get 100% conversion, of course, half of those 30,000 people are probably the wrong people, and that's fine. But I'm inundated with inquiries and interest. So it's not that they're wrong. There's just a Facebook advertising like a one-hit wonder. You do it and it works, or it doesn't, and then you keep doing it if it works. Yeah, and that's kind of how it works. With content, with organic, it's time. Instead of spending money, you're spending time. And if you get it right, you could probably pay somebody to do it. So there's no difference in cost. But you get multiple bites of the opportunity with people because they're seeing your content on an ongoing basis. And the outcome, the effort on the ads is one hit wonder. The effort on content is long term. It compounds because more and more people become aware of you and remember your name, which is really valuable.
Sophie Robinson's got a good request.
Instagram and Twitter. Yes, Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, we're planning some more sessions at the moment for Oxlep in January, so I'll add that onto the list. We had a meeting this afternoon about the planned sessions for next year, so do go follow Oxlep's page. And when the events come up, so this is Oxlep's page. They're on Facebook as well, but I follow them on LinkedIn because you've got more chance of seeing their stuff than on Facebook because they're the way the algorithm works. So go find Oxlep and give them a follow. I follow them as well. Give them a follow because that will really help you see all the stuff that they're doing. Finally, if you want the help with the pain point worksheet, or you want to know more about the pod, about how you can amplify your content, just drop me a line on Facebook or send me a connection request on LinkedIn, and I'll happily accept your connection request and say, hey, send me the details of the pod, and I'll get you in there. There's no cost. I'm not selling anything. It'll just help you get in. Oh, any more questions? Any more questions?
There's one for Paola.
Paola, send me a friend request on Facebook. We are going to launch one. We haven't got it ready just yet, but do send me one. And I'm just going to show you this. It's not for a brag on, but it's just to show you the point of if you get this right. People are asking me, what's the native process? And what am I going to do? We'll ping you a message. And then what I do is add friend and send them the message. And I'll write the message to this guy in a minute.
Lauren.
Lauren, what I do is I would alternate your content. Some things that are just so engaging and fun and interesting, and then I would go promotional. So I would mix the two together. So I'd mix the two together. Eva, I'll answer your question in a minute. And what I'd be looking for, one of the good things is you can search on LinkedIn and see what other people are doing to get inspiration. Don't copy, but get inspiration from what other people are doing, and track it by its metrics so you can see how people are responding to different things. So that's how you can kind of get inspiration. Eva, the LinkedIn algorithm has changed. I shared this in one of the groups, but nobody saw it. It's if you don't get the dwell time, likes and comments are slower. Videos do not perform as well as they used to. So if people have been producing videos, that's going to be a problem. But it's about the likes and the comments and the dwell time. So if you get people to stay longer than 3 seconds, it really does matter. And what LinkedIn's doing now is it measures its stats differently to how it used to. So Eva, the views haven't changed. What's changed is how LinkedIn counts the views. So, and this is a tricky one to explain, but I'll explain it. So Eva, do you remember maybe 3 or 4 months ago, you just had the number of views. You didn't have this of your post in the feed. No, North Oxford Film. Come and find me as a person, not my profile. So let me just bear with you. Eva, bear with me a minute. There's my LinkedIn URL. I didn't copy it.
I think he sees that you can only follow. There's no connect.
Yeah, you'll have to. No, if you. So bear with me. I'll come back to this in a minute, Eva. If you want to follow me or connect with me, on my profile, you'll have a follow button, and in this more, there will be a connect. Because I've reached so many followers, it's automatically pushes me to follow. So if you want to follow me, you're fine. But if you click the more, you can connect with me as well. So Eva, remember I said that a moment ago. It used to just say views. It just say 157 views. Now it says views of your post in the feed. So what does that mean? So when the pod works, you get your boost. Every view that comes off the pod, you know, the ripple effect, you get other people's connections seeing your post. That doesn't count in this number anymore. It's only the views, the only views that are counted now are the ones that show up from being found here. So when people come onto the home feed, they see you here. So Eva, how do you get there? You get into the home feed because you're getting high levels of engagement and dwell time. So the same things happen. It's just LinkedIn strips out the views you would normally get from the ripple effect of the pod. So Eva, if I'm in the pod with you and I like your post, my view doesn't count. And if Vasco likes your post because he's seen it because of me, that view doesn't count. It still happened, but it's not counted. So dwell time really does matter in the posts now. Getting people to stay longer and getting people to engage, and comments are still the most valuable. But if there's no dwell time, the comments won't make a difference. Oh, I'm all talked out now. So yeah, if you want the pod stuff, message me, find me on Facebook. You're welcome to find me on both. That's absolutely fine. And go tell Oxlep if you've got value from this and it's helped you with your business. Please do let them know. I really appreciate it if you let them know, and go check out some of their funded programs they've got. They've literally got training for you for free and things to help you for free, including the Peer Networks program, which will be a massive help to some businesses.
And do a like.
Yeah, dwell and comments. Yeah, dwell and comments, absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you've got value. Go tell Oxlep if you've got real value and it's helped you with your business. If I've been boring, don't tell Oxlep.
But give a like.
Yeah, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and go follow Oxlep on LinkedIn. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. to all of you for coming. Hope to see you on LinkedIn and Facebook. And good luck, happy Christmas, and I wish you the most amazing COVID-free 2021. And hopefully I'll see you next week for the last free training of the year before we break for Christmas. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful Christmas and all that with New Year.